So I'm going to quickly show you how to add a background to your buttons. So we have our canvas here, right? That's my canvas on which the buttons are sitting. There are more UI objects, and one of them is an image. Because I already have a canvas, it goes straight onto the canvas. When I add this image, I'm going to call this menu BG, and you can see it's the white patch on the bottom left corner. I've set this to 1024 by 768 so I can see my width. Otherwise what happens is you will set it on a free aspect, and then when you change it, you will realize your background is not covering the whole window. So I'm just going to set it to 1024 by 768 because I plan to build it at 1024 by 768. And it tries to maintain that ratio at least. So this menu BG, if I come here and then I press the Alt key, I get these options to stretch. So it's stretched. If I drag it up right behind the buttons, and I just did it with Edward right now, if I drag it right behind the buttons, it goes behind the buttons. Okay. Now bear in mind, you can't drag and drop sprites directly onto the stage. They have to be inside UI elements. That's a mistake you did, Edward, right? So you need to have buttons and then have an image on a button, or have an image and then have an image on this. So how do you add? Just like you add an image on a button by going to source image. On an image, you can do the same thing. See source image. Click here. Go to, where's my granite? My granite. I need to make it into a sprite. Single sprite. Once it's a sprite, I'm sure I can go here and pick it up. Okay. And now I'm going to make my buttons move in Y. So I'm just seeing if I can, yeah. Because if I use position Y, whatever value comes, it sets all of them to that same value. So I have to use this to move it down. I think I can add things like shadow. Yeah, there is something like shadow, and effect distance 3 minus 3. Yeah, you can see the shadow, and I could probably give it a blur. I don't know, probably 4. And I can then copy this component and just go to the other buttons and paste component as new. So that one gets a shadow. Come to quit, paste component as new. So now my menu screen is looking a bit better. Well, if you think about it, starting from scratch to get to this point, well, at least we have a game interface. I don't have a title, but if I went to my sprite and grabbed my title, I'm just going to make a different title for this. It's not exactly the Viking game, so I'll make a different title, put the title using the same thing. You see the menu BG? I'm going to go to UI, go to image. I'm going to call this title. Okay. Come here, bring it to the middle. On my title, I will go and I'll just go to my sprite editor and cut this title for now. I will change the title. I won't keep this one. So I have this title. Apply. Every time I do this trimming, it gives me one additional sprite. So you see, I'm going to close this. So if you see, if I go here, it has given me one additional sprite every time I do a trim. So when I come to title, I can go to source image and I can say somewhere here, I think that's the one. Yep. And preserve aspect, I will need to make it a bit bigger. I think I can choose preserve aspect and native size. And yeah, that's okay. I will take the rest of the buttons, move them a bit down. But there I've got my main menu screen. I got a title, I got start, credits, quit. Okay.